Hello and hey, we are not doing that. What's up guys, Static Nexus here, and today I've come to talk to you about the new drive disc set, King of Summits, and why it's secretly a massive W for Trigger. Now, the King of Summits drive disc set is clearly made for Jufufu in mind, and it's going to be amazing for her. But having ran dozens of simulations and gathered like hours of data now on the beta, it's clear that on release, since nothing has changed, that it has insane value for Trigger, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. I'm going to share with you data, how it works, and why we need to all switch from Shockstar Disco to King of Summits for Trigger. Now, as you know, Trigger is a unique type of stunner because she builds Daze but also contributes to the overall DPS of the team at 10-15% depending who you put her with. And because of this, she's a bit slower than other stunners, and also she's an off-field stunner. So with that in mind, you might be thinking that carrying on with the Shockstar Disco in 2.0 to help close that gap that she has between the other stunners is still the way to go. But we've actually been given now something that's not only going to help Trigger embrace her hybrid nature, but pair better with her kit and further emphasize her sub-roles as a DPS, but now also a more support agent, while still remaining a stun agent. And I'm going to say this right now, I'm not happy about this. I'm not happy that this set is being brought in, because I spent over 1.5k hi-fis just a couple months ago to get Trigger where I wanted to be. And now this new drive set's coming in that just turns out that it's going to help her embrace her, like I said earlier, her hybrid nature. I have to build it. And I'm going to show you why. Why I can't ignore it, why I have to go for it, and why you're going to have to as well. As you know, Trigger's kit converts up to 90% of her crit rate into Daze, so building Trigger over 50% crit rate is a natural approach to maximize her kit. And because of that, we're automatically fulfilling the 4-piece effect condition from the King of Summit, which is the equipper must have over 50% crit rate, and the set will provide them an additional 15% crit damage to all squad members, which includes themselves. And all in, this brings the 4-piece set bonus to a 30% crit damage buff among all units for 15 seconds. And that is big. It's massive. A stun agent that can do that, it's huge. So we know Trigger has this effect maxed out without the need of external buffs such as the M6 Nicole, and triggering this 4-piece effect is also easy for Trigger, since her kit requires her also to play strategically around stun windows with coordinated support, which is activated through her X special Flash Burial. Now I hear you, we are losing 20% Daze from the 4-piece Shockstar Disco, and we're basically further lessening her role as a stunner and slowing her down even more. But the good news is, it's actually minor, and frankly, easy to overlook given what we are trading those couple of seconds for. I tested quite a lot of circumstances, and the one I think that made the most sense for me to show you guys is this one and another. And the goal here, just remember, it's not to see how much more damage she does or how much more damage she brings. We know how much more damage she brings. It's 30% crit damage. It's not about looking at that. What we're going to try and measure here is how quickly we can build up Daze with the Shockstar Disco versus how quickly we can build up Daze with the King of Summit using the same circumstances, same moves, and same order. So on the left side, we've got Trigger with 4-piece King of Summit and 2-piece Woodpecker Electro, bringing her crit rate to 85%. On the right side, we have Trigger with 4-piece Shockstar Disco, 2-piece Woodpecker Electro, bringing her crit rate to 85% as well. We're going to be running Astro Yao, Trigger, and S-Ambi, and we're going to execute the exact same move in the exact same sequence and time to measure how much slower we are going to be building Daze in real time when exposed to identical circumstances. So against the Frenzied Maniac, it took 1 extra second to reach the stun window using the exact same movement with the King of Summit and Shockstar Disco. Now the size of the Daze gauge does vary per enemy and how much Daze is required for the enemy to become stunned. However, the extra crit damage buff from the Kings of Summit also negates some of those added seconds over time. So to me, it's clear that the King of Summit for Trigger surpasses the Shockstar Disco in both Deadly Assault and shield defense. And in some cases, it could vary, I suppose, also depending on team compositions. But what I'm going to do now is redo that exact run and show you how you should use the King of Summit in these circumstances to maximize the duration and effect of the set. Okay, so we bring Trigger in and build up her gauge. We're going to quick assist to S Ambi. Now we're going to bring Trigger back so we can launch her X special and activate the King of Summits. Now it's up, and we've got to be mindful here, since it's a 2-chain, to start it with Ambi instead of Trigger, so that we activate the buff again right here with the chain attack of the King of Summit, so that S Ambi can take advantage of the full 15 seconds of the buff during the stun window. Now you also got to be mindful that in Deadly Assault, if you're playing a team like this with Soldier 11 where it's preferable that you chain cancel so that S11 can come on field, so that S11 can benefit from the chain twice in exchange for losing 1 point on the chain, no matter how you do it here, you will not be able to trigger the King of Summits buff in this chain, because when you commence the chain and reactivate it, that doesn't count as the chain and the buff won't come up. You have to include the stunner inside the chain for this to count to activate the effect. And this is something new players can easily overlook when they don't necessarily grasp yet when the chain commences. So in this circumstance, when we are doing the chain cancel for Soldier 11 to bring her twice into the chain instead of once, we want to activate the King of Summit effect with Trigger's X special, either at the very start of the chain when we're then switching to S11, one of the stunners, and reactivating it to bringing S11 on it again, or after the first chain attack from S11, which we then do it to reset the chain again, so that S11 can benefit for the full 15 seconds of the crit damage buff during this stun window. So yeah, that's one of the things you have to keep in mind. You know, the condition to activate the 4-piece effect of the King of Summit is not difficult, and I think Trigger's kit fits in really well for it, since activating coordinated support on the edge of stun windows is also very good. And before I forget to say, the King of Summit is a set that's also going to be highly profitable for Pokra, and although I don't build Pokra, I can see the value in it. So if you're a Pokra connoisseur enthusiast, yeah, give it a try and let me know in the comments what it was like. Now, yeah, as you remember at the beginning, I did say that I'm not happy about this, and I am annoyed. I am annoyed because it's only been about 3 months since we got Trigger, and most of the Zenless Zone Zero community, I think, have only now, a few weeks ago, completed their builds on her with the Shockstar Disco, Woodpecker Electro, and invested a lot of resources, you know? So people who started on the Trigger patch, who have been watching videos, who have been trying to, you know, get the most out of her kit, trying to reach the 90% crit rate, they've put a lot of their permanent rewards and beginner resources into Trigger, and they're going to have to start over, and it's not a good feeling. For me, it will probably be okay, you know. If I hope I'll be luckier than as I was with the Shockstar, because I really got unlucky. But yeah, we've learned something from this. We've learned something from this. It's a lesson that I already knew, and I already had to learn the hard way before in other Hoyo games, and I think I just got too comfortable. So this is just a reminder for me at this point, and something that if you are new to Hoyo games, that I think you can learn from, is this is going to keep happening. And you know, with my experience playing these games, you know, Hoyo games, and also other gachas, the thing is they don't really do this much in other gachas, not the ones I've played at least. It seems to be something with Hoyo. Yeah, I probably can't touch much on that without getting myself in trouble, so yeah, so I think a good thing to take away from this is that we know that this is possible. It's something they are going to do with Zenless Zone Zero, and we have to be mindful of how far we go in slots 4 to 6 in future. This is a lesson that I've learned now, and I'm going to be mindful of how much I invest into a non-DPS agent in future, just to, you know, get the max output of their kit, because something might come along, or you know, around down the road where I'm going to have to restart, and it's not a good feeling. Anyway, as usual, drop me a comment on what you want to see next. Don't forget to like and subscribe for better luck on your drive disc rolls. This was Static. Remember to have fun, and I'll see you all in the next one.